All right, we're going to keep going. This time we're going to install Visual Studio Code, which is quite possibly the most popular code editor right now, not just for Microsoft related technologies, but across all languages and platforms. It's just had an amazing ascent into popularity amongst developers. And there's a good reason why. First of all, it's free. It's very small and fast and simple. It's very configurable. It's extensible. There's tons of extensions. It's supported by Microsoft. Has a lot going for it. Now, I want to make this point emphatic that this is different than the full Visual Studio IDE, which I'm not even sure what the current version. I think as I record this, it's 2019. So there's Visual Studio 2019 Community Edition, Professional Edition, Enterprise Edition. You don't need those. They're a little bit beyond what we need. Using Visual Studio Code and the .NET CLI will be a simplified experience and will help us to really better understand what's going on under the hood. If you use full Visual Studio IDE, sometimes it masks things from you. This is going to give us the opportunity to really learn things at the most basic level, and you'll have a better understanding of .NET as a result, I promise. All right, so let's go and get started, pretty much like we did last time. I'm going to type in Visual Studio Code download, and you can see I'm going to pick this top link, code.visualstudio.com/download. URLs change, so make sure you do a quick search and make sure that wherever you download it from ultimately is a Microsoft website. And it looks something like this, although page designs change as well. So we want to download the Windows installer. Takes about 54 megabytes of time to download the installer. All right, and then let's go ahead and launch it. We're going to accept the agreement, move on. I'm going to choose all of the defaults for the most part, except when we get to this option. I strongly recommend that you select Add Open with Code to the Windows Explorer File context menu and to the Directory context menu. This is super handy. When I forget to do this, I'm always kicking myself. And then I also select Register Code as an editor for supported file types. This will allow me to open up just basically any file by right-clicking on it or double-clicking on it. It'll open it up in Visual Studio Code so I can edit it. All right. And you definitely want to add to path. And what this will allow you to do is run it from the command line. And I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So let's go ahead and run the app and click install. Super small, super fast install. All right, and now let's go ahead and launch it. And here again, the very first thing I'm going to do is to right click and select pin to taskbar. And then I might even move it in position. I'll leave it where it's at for right now though. That'll be just fine. I'm going to shut it down. And then what I want to do is use my Windows key #1 to launch a command prompt. And from here, what I want to do is just navigate to my root directory. And then I'm going to make a new directory, mkdir, and I'm just going to call this delete me. So I remember to delete it. But what I want to show you is why we wanted to add that path variable. I'm going to cd into the delete me folder, and then I'm going to type in code for Visual Studio Code space period, and this will open up Visual Studio Code in that directory, meaning that if there were any files in that directory, I would be able to see those files loaded up into the Explorer. I don't expect you to understand everything I just said. However, you would be able to see any files listed here in this little portion of the screen. We'll talk more about Visual Studio Code and devote several videos to it as we get started writing actual code. But for now, just understand that there's a quick little shortcut and reasons why we would install given the options that we did. Okay, so that should wrap it up. In the next video, we'll install Git. See you there.